While most people are worried about next month's bills, the wealthy are planning what their great-grandchildren will inherit. While you're deciding what to buy this weekend, billionaires are making decisions that won't pay off until 2045. This isn't just a different financial strategy, it's a completely different relationship with time itself. Today, I'm breaking down why the rich think in decades while everyone else thinks in days, and how this single difference in time perspective creates and perpetuates massive wealth gaps. If you want to understand how generational wealth really works, stay with me. 10. The reinforcing cycle of long-term success. Here's the final piece. Long-term thinking creates success, which enables even longer-term thinking, creating a reinforcing cycle that compounds advantage across generations. This is how wealth gaps don't just persist, but expand over time. The wealthy also gain freedom from short-term financial pressure. When you have sufficient wealth, you never need to sell assets prematurely or take short-term jobs you don't want. This freedom allows purely long-term optimization. Breaking into this cycle from outside is incredibly difficult but not impossible. It requires deliberately adopting long-term thinking even when your circumstances pressure short-term focus. It means making 20-year plans when you can barely see 20 months ahead. It's hard, but it's the only path from short-term survival to long-term wealth. 9. Avoiding short-term traps and distractions. Long-term thinking protects the wealthy from countless short-term traps, scams, and distractions that derail others. When you're focused on 20-year outcomes, you easily filter out noise that seems urgent but doesn't matter long-term. This ability to ignore short-term noise is an enormous advantage. While everyone else is reacting to headlines, quarterly reports, and daily market movements, the wealthy stay focused on long-term trends and fundamentals. The discipline to ignore short-term temptation and distraction is perhaps the most underrated aspect of wealth building. It's not sexy or exciting, but the ability to stay focused on 20-year goals despite constant short-term distractions separates wealth builders from everyone else. 8. Legacy and meaning beyond money. The wealthiest individuals think about legacy, impact, and meaning that extends far beyond their lives. This isn't just about money. It's about what they'll be remembered for in 50, 100, or 500 years. This ultimate long-term thinking shapes how they deploy wealth and time. This legacy thinking changes how wealth is used. Instead of maximizing personal consumption, the wealthy increasingly think about impact investing, philanthropic structures, and initiatives that will continue creating value long after they're gone. For the ultra-wealthy, money itself becomes less important than the legacy question. What enduring difference will I make? This question only matters if you're thinking beyond your lifetime, caring about outcomes you'll never personally witness. 7. Education and human capital investment. The wealthy invest heavily in education and human capital development, not for immediate returns, but for capabilities that compound over 30-40-year careers and lifetimes. This is ultimate long-term thinking. Sending children to elite schools costs hundreds of thousands of dollars with no immediate financial return. The payoff comes decades later through career success, network access, and capability development. Only long-term thinkers make this investment willingly. The wealthy also invest in health and wellness with long-term thinking. They want skills that pay off this year, not capabilities that create advantage over a 40-year career. This short-sighted approach to human capital development limits lifetime earning potential. 6. Market cycles and economic patterns take decades. The wealthy think in terms of full economic and market cycles, which play out over decades, not months or years. This cyclical perspective allows them to make counterintuitive decisions that seem crazy short-term, but brilliant long-term. Real estate cycles typically run 15-20 years from boom to bust to boom again. Stock market cycles can take 10-15 years. Economic cycles of expansion and recession unfold over years. If you're only thinking 1-2 years ahead, you can't position yourself advantageously for these cycles. This cyclical, long-term perspective prevents panic and enables opportunistic moves. When everyone else is scared short-term, the wealthy are excited about long-term opportunities. When everyone else is euphoric short-term, the wealthy are cautious about long-term risk. 5. Relationship building compounds over time. The wealthy understand that the most valuable networks and relationships are built over decades, not days. This requires investing in relationships long before you need anything from them, which is quintessential long-term thinking. Your Harvard classmate who seems unimpressive at 22 might be a Supreme Court justice, CEO, or senator at 50. These networks only pay dividends over very long time frames. Most people network transactionally and short-term. They meet people when they need something, burn bridges for immediate gain, and fail to nurture relationships that don't provide immediate value. This short-term approach guarantees they'll never build the relationship capital that creates opportunities decades later. 4. Tax optimization requires long time horizons. Strategic tax planning, one of the wealthy's most powerful tools, only works with long-term thinking. Most powerful tax strategies require holding periods of years or decades to maximize benefits. The tax code is literally written to favor long-term thinking. Short-term trades, flips, and quick profits are taxed heavily. Long-term holdings, patient capital, and generational transfers are taxed favorably. The wealthy didn't write these rules by accident. They lobbied for tax structures that reward the behaviors they already practice. 3. Real estate and assets appreciate over decades. The wealthy's preferred assets, real estate, businesses, and appreciating investments only truly pay off over long time horizons. This is why long-term thinking and wealth building are inseparable. Most people can't hold assets long enough to capture full appreciation. They panic sell during downturns. They take profits too early. They need the money for consumption. The wealthy structure their lives so they never need to sell appreciating assets, allowing them to capture decades of growth. 2. Building institutions, not just income. The rich aren't trying to get rich. They're trying to build institutions, systems, and structures that will outlast them and continue generating wealth for generations. This requires thinking far beyond your own lifetime, which fundamentally changes how you make decisions today. The Rockefeller family office has managed wealth for over a century across 6 generations. The Rothschilds have maintained wealth for over 200 years through institutional structures and long-term thinking. These aren't accidents. They're the result of deliberately building systems that transcend individual lifetimes. Institutional thinking also means investing in education, governance, and values transmission. Wealthy families establish constitutions, hold family councils, and deliberately educate each generation in wealth stewardship. They know money without the knowledge to manage it dissipates within 2 or 3 generations. So they invest heavily in perpetuating the capabilities needed to sustain wealth. 1. Compound interest needs time to work magic. The foundation of long-term thinking is understanding compound interest. And truly understanding it requires thinking in decades, not years. Albert Einstein supposedly called it the 8th wonder of the world. And the math explains why the wealthy obsess over time horizons. The wealthy understand viscerally that the most valuable variable in the compound interest equation isn't the return rate or even the principal amount. It's time. This is why they start investing early, get their children investing as teenagers, and structure investments to compound undisturbed for decades. Most people can't emotionally connect with money they won't see for 20 years. They want results now, which is exactly why they'll never build serious wealth. They interrupt compounding to spend, to chase higher returns, to enjoy life now. The wealthy have trained themselves to value future outcomes enough to sacrifice present consumption. And they think in time frames long enough for compound magic to happen. The rich don't have better circumstances. They have better time horizons. They've trained themselves to value future outcomes enough to sacrifice present consumption and to think in decades while everyone else thinks in days. If this perspective changed how you think about wealth and time, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on wealth psychology and strategy. Drop a comment. What's the longest time horizon you're planning for right now? Can you start thinking in decades? Thanks for watching, and remember, your wealth in 20 years is being determined by the decisions you make today. I'll see you in the next one.